it fast. Right here on the Anycast. Make it strong, make it last. Right here on the Anycast.
Okay, everybody. I am very excited today. Chris, where in the world are you joining me from today, by the way?
I am in Austria. I'm in Graz. That's the second biggest city in Austria. And I'm happy to join you, Matt. Amazing to be here.
Thank you so much for taking the time in your day. And for those who don't know who you are, where you came from, what you're selling, as I like to say, give us 2 minutes of a pitch so that people can fast forward 2 minutes, and then we can get into the good stuff.
Awesome. My name is Chris. I am an audio engineer, musician, producer, and I recently joined Alphonic, the audio post-production web tool, where I took the role of head of strategy, meaning that I do all the marketing, business development, strategic partnerships, and basically networking and getting the name and the face out there. It's a software company. We provide automatic audio production. So if you upload your voice file, you can have it leveled, silence removed, noise removed, reverb removed. So basically all the tasks that a audio engineer would normally do, you can do automatically now. We do transcription, and basically we want to provide a toolbox for people in the content creator space.
Awesome. So almost everybody, it seems, that ends up working for a podcast production company, whatever that looks like, almost everybody comes from podcasting. And before we got started, I liked your phrase. You're an eternal podcast lurker.
Yeah.
So how does an eternal lurker move to the front stage and be the tip of the spear for a podcast audio production company?
Yeah, that's such a cool development, actually, because I used to be like the sound guy beside the stages where all the content creators and all the interesting people were talking. And I always, I'm a rock singer, I'm a guitarist, and I always wanted to do metal. I always wanted to do metal shows, and I was a front of house engineer for those shows. But as time progressed, my career changed a bit, and it's became much more like Christmas parties and German Schlager stars and being on tour with that kind of music. And my heart really said, nah, I'm in for a change, basically. So call it fate, call it luck. But right at that time when I thought I need a change of career, Alphonic offered the exact position that I hold now, meaning the marketing, business development side of things. So I applied. And now I'm here, which is basically, I took it from the sidelines. I've been watching and listening to podcasts for years now. Back in school, one of my, a great computer science teacher showed us the emergence of Web 2.0 and podcasts and blogs and people contributing on the internet. Yeah, and it seems like I've come full circle from being on the sidelines supporting to being on the front lines supporting. It's kind of cool.
I feel like every third person in my life mixed monitors at some point somewhere.
Yeah.
It's interesting for that as a background because obviously audio engineers are pretty snobby about audio, and so I feel like that has to play a part in you getting involved in, like, I want to make people's audio better because I hate this and this and this and this.
Yeah.
Do you get satisfaction just from the knowing that you're cleaning up people's audio, even if you're not even involved in producing it or listening to it?
Yeah, I kind of do, because that was my main pleasure when I was mixing concerts. I could make them sound the way I want them to. So, that's a cool solo going on. I can push it. I can add some spice. I can do some effects, and I can make it sound the way I want them to. And I always thought that, I always thought that I had taste. So I was like giving my taste to the people. Know what I mean?
Expand on that a little bit. So I know what you mean, but why was that important, right? Like, a lot of people have taste and they're okay just keeping it to themselves. Why was it important to you that other people got to hear your version of how that solo should go?
Yeah, it's maybe the snobbish part of being an audio engineer, because I thought, let's do it right. If my standards are fulfilled, I'm for sure going to fulfill the standards of many people in the crowd, I always thought, because I was going into the show with a high standard. I wanted to deliver like expert quality sound on every show that I mixed. Yeah, and I thought if I walk out at the end of the night and think, yeah, that sounded cool, then it would have sounded cool, basically.
There's a generation of potential new podcast listeners coming who have been raised on 20-second clips being, the way you consume content. I mean, I assume some of it is just, as we're talking about, naturally getting older, right? Eventually, all the TikTokers today are going to be, their generation's version of boomers. And maybe just as you become a boomer, you become more interested in going deeper, down into one subject than, show me 20 seconds of everything. But how do you see that new generation consuming, not just podcasts, but content in general today? Like at some point, it needs to be longer than their current attention spans.
Yeah. What I find interesting is watching the music scene, because when I tried to learn guitar like 15 years ago, there was basically no tutorials on YouTube. There were a couple of people showing some interesting stuff, but right now there are so many insanely talented musicians out there showing you tricks and details and really, really delicate moves that you can do to improve. That's just another level. And what I see is so many young people, despite all this ADHD topic, despite all this shortening of attention span, that do incredibly cool things on their instruments and in their respective whatever they do. Basically, their talent grew insanely fast with young people. That's what amazes me most about changes.
As a musician, how does that make you feel when you see?
Yeah, it hurts.
Yeah,
it hurts, man. You're like, there's so many videos that I watch that I think, like, how is that even possible? Like,
yeah.
What do I have to be able to do to compete, dude?
What would it take for you to dabble in sharing through that medium again, or is that a closed door?
I'm not sure I quite understand the question. Like, do another podcast episode with you, or in general?
No, in general. Like, what would it take for you to be like to stop, no longer be the eternal lurker, to decide that you'd give the medium a shot?
I would say be invited.
There you go.
It's just an honor. It's just an honor, Matt. Actually, it's my first podcast ever.
Ever?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I was insanely nervous. I couldn't sleep for like 3 days straight.
Oh my God. Well, you're in for a real relief when you find out there's going to be 2.5 people that listen to this. But I did not know that. You did. That was amazing. And I'm sure everybody would agree. So that's a great place to close it, because I had no idea. So, Christoph, thank you for your time. That was great. Everybody, check out Alphonic, check out Prine. Where can let's plug the band a little bit. Where can people watch, buy, get merch, find a tour list?
It's prine.org. You can find our link tree there. We got links to Spotify and all the audio players. You can buy merch on Bandcamp. You can get in contact with us on our socials. That's Prinestagram on Instagram, Prine, Pryne. Check it out. I'd love to get your feedback. I'd love to get you guys to listen to it, because personally, I like it, and I hope you guys are going to like it too.
All right. We'll include all that in the show notes.
Awesome.
Chris, again, thank you so much for your time. This was great.
Matt, it's been an honor. Thanks so much for having me.
This is different, another round, so much more to talk about. Gonna aim to satisfy with help from Cashfly. Get to it fast. Right here on the Anycast. Make it strong, make it last. Right here on the Anycast. The Anycast podcast, brought to you by Cashfly.